I'm not a conservative.
I feel the same way about
I'm
Republicans.
not.
I wish they'd quit just being crazy.
All right. We're live. And we can continue this political stuff
Good morning, everybody.
after the
Hope you are well.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to week 10 of football, fantasy football theories. Got a lot of wins and losses last week to talk about. Brian broke our DraftKings record for the season for top score of 166.86.
Right after you did.
And right after I did at 163.02. So Ken was king for a week. I got a feeling that score is going to hold for quite some time. And then we got,
at least
for
a
the
few
season.
hours.
This season we got the pick'em scores at 87. And me and Brian are tied at 87. Ken's at 69 currently, and our longtime viewer is at 74. Bezzy.
It's been bad.
What a Bezzy.
So many of them have been so close too. It's been crazy.
Oh, there's been some crazy games.
Like I think
Especially
I'm probably
in the first few
like
weeks.
if we're like 25 points, you know, in the opposite directions, like just 25 points, I probably 13 wins, something like that. Probably like 82 or 83.
And then I think Brian, you lost the hat bet, right? Carolina versus Saints -7.
Yeah,
that was
I'm
great.
wearing it. Yeah,
That was great.
And
That was
that's
the
why-
highlight.
It's funny because the Saints were just dominating. There's no reason the Saints should have lost that game. There's no reason I should have lost this bet. And there's a reason Dennis Allen got fired. Like, holy crap. What a shit show.
And that
I
is-
told you their defense was bad.
Hence the hat.
And that's why Brian's wearing
And
the
then-
shit emoji hat.
And then Ray and I played heads up in our league of record.
Did we?
It was me and you.
Okay.
That was me.
That was my opponent?
You were texting about it on Monday night. Did you not know it was me?
I thought I was playing like one of your buddies or something.
No,
I didn't catch that.
No, you were playing me.
I thought it was like
funny.
Drunken Pirate or
And,
something.
And so I got the win on the final
Yeah,
play
there's
of the
my
night.
loss. On the final fucking play of the
Final
night.
play.
Yeah.
Literally the only thing that could have happened there. The
only scenario.
because I was behind. I won the match by 5 on the Kareem Hunt touchdown.
Son of a bitch. That makes that hurt even more.
I thought you knew.
No. I wasn't rubbing it in my text or
Fresh
anything.
salt
Like I
here.
was just showing, like, guys, look what's happening right now. You were fully
Yeah,
aware
he's
of it.
like, that's so funny. I knew exactly what was going on. And he's in the group chat. He's like, hey, what's going on with Kareem Hunt? Why do they keep playing P. Ryan? And if you haven't seen Kansas City games since Pacheco went down, that's essentially what they do. P. Ryan comes in on third down almost exclusively. Like Kareem Hunt gets almost no third down plays unless they're short yardage. And then that's what he's going to do. He's going to chunk away once they get to the goal line. They've been handing the ball to Kareem Hunt a lot, and he's been successful. It's been really, really, really good for fantasy.
Yeah, I've got him on a couple of my teams. I happened to grab him in some dynasty leagues. I'm very happy with him, but I'm also very surprised. Like, I really kind of thought he was washed when they picked him up. Even when I picked him up, I was just like, oh, this is probably nothing.
He was hurt.
This is a 2%er, but
he's
hey,
been hurt
maybe
the last
it'll
couple of
hit.
years, and with his age, it made sense. It made sense to not be excited about it. I was not expecting to get the value out of him that I've gotten. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting to just like maybe have a flex guy, until Pacheco got back, which I didn't think was going to take this long either.
Right.
But
No,
it's been.
It was a broken leg.
Well, I thought it was just a fracture. I thought it was going to be like 4 to 6 weeks. I've broken
Oh,
my.
no, I heard 8 right off the bat.
Oh yeah. So, well, anyway, it's been 10 now, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was a nasty break.
He's been down a while. Anyway, so we can go into the Homer Minute, and I can lead us off with some sadness.
Yeah.
Unsurprised at what happened. Like obviously, I honor bound to pick him, but not excited with what's going on right now. It just doesn't like they.
Yeah.
It looks like I said before the games last week. It kind of feels like the wheels are falling off, and it kind of and then Dak's wheel literally fell off the bone.
Right?
With he's got a partial avulsion of his hamstring.
Yeah,
So-
and they said already season ender, right?
No, they.
Actually, I thought news came out today that it was season ending.
That's possible.
That they think it might be.
He was getting a second opinion. They know that it was enough to put him on IR, so they put him on IR. but this tends to be like a 4 to 6 week thing. I guess they let it kind of scar over a little bit before they go in and do the full repair.
Gotcha.
So he should be having, like, assuming that the second opinion and third, if he gets one, isn't different than the first one, he's probably getting surgery in the next 10 to 14 days. And then you're looking at like 3 to 4 weeks after that. So, like, and Cooper Rush has had success. So
with a different Dallas team and better Dallas defense.
You know what's interesting is you never really know. Yeah. You never know what's going to happen. Like, he's been in the system for years now at this point, and they haven't tried very hard to replace him. He's a decent backup.
Well, then give us the opinion on what everybody wants to know. What do you think's going on with CD then?
CD got cleared on Friday.
No. But I mean, like, how good is he going to be now with Cooper Rush?
If I could buy low on him, I would.
Yeah, like you think he's still a top 10 wide receiver?
Yeah, absolutely.
Top 5?
Less consistently top 5.
So more of a like.
So I would say top 10.
If you went from here to the end of season, you'd say he's probably the 9 or 10.
Because the thing is, he might actually get more targets, just depending on how things play out. Mm-hmm. Dak was making a lot of strange decisions, and I really don't. He just wasn't playing his best football this year at all, like anywhere close to it. He didn't look right physically, and so maybe he had that hamstring thing going on for a while. I don't know, but I remember I can see him in my mind, like trying to escape this collapsing pocket. And looking to me like he was like 38 or 39. Like he just was like,
how old is he?
He's 31.
Okay.
So I don't know if he had been, like I said, I don't know if he had been physically encumbered, leading up to this, but that would make sense. That would explain some of the poor play, like, cuz he's not had his ball placement has not been very good. He's underthrown a bunch of guys, and so maybe that's what it was. And so maybe this needed to happen, and it's entirely possible that Cooper Rush comes in and plays better.
Let's see. Yeah,
I'm not saying that means they're going to win, because they have to stop some people on the other side,
Yeah.
and they still can't run the ball with any real efficiency. Rico Dowdle is a start because of how many catches he's getting right now. Not
all right. Well, let me give you a real life question then. Would you go CeeDee Lamb or Deebo Samuel?
Are we talking like 10 team, 12 team?
This is guillotine league. There's 5 teams left.
I think I'd go CeeDee over Deebo.
Really? Mm-hmm. And then what about CeeDee over Najee? That would be my other choice.
CeeDee.
Really? You have that much confidence in him? Too?
Yeah.
Now,
Cooper Rush has.
Now, I also have to caveat this with I also have Jamar Chase, so I have a comfortable lead going in. So I just need points. You know what I mean?
Actually, well, I mean,
I don't need to shoot for the moon. I just need some points now.
Well, he's got a really high floor, though. You're talking about a player with a high floor, and I think CeeDee's got a higher ceiling. Like, you're talking about a person with even all things are going well for both players. Like, CD has a higher ceiling and a higher floor, and and I don't think that Cooper Rush is. Thank you. Cooper Rush is such a downgrade at quarterback that I would immediately, before game 1 where they play together, make that decision to put Deebo over CD. I wouldn't. There's no way I would do that. And it's a favorable matchup. But I don't think that's where the 49ers are going to attack today. They get Christian McCaffrey back. So he's going to they're going to get him some looks once they get close to score. And Kittle has him and Brock Purdy seem to have a connection, and that seems to be his guy. And so
those Do you know what Deebo's injury is? Like, I think he's expected to play, but
I'm watching this game right now. They got some big pretzels in Germany. These things are massive, dude. They're like
off the top of my head, I think it's a knee.
What's the score, by the way?
17-7.
But you guys can go ahead and do your homer minutes.
See, the thing about it is, like, before we got into the homer minute, Ken had mentioned that I played him last week, and I wasn't even realizing it. Ken changes his team name all the time. It's just too hard to keep up with. But this week, I'm playing against you, right?
Yeah, it's you and me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And Daniel Jones ain't doing good for you.
Yeah. I noticed that. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, as far as my homer minute goes, we got the Dolphins tomorrow. That amazing overtime pass throw from Matthew Stafford to win the overtime game.
Injury.
I still wonder about him. I don't know if he's gonna be back next season or not. So we're gonna see. I mean,
Stafford?
he threw I think a 1 or 2 picks in that game too as well. It wasn't like just this like flawless game with a exclamation mark ending. You know what I mean? Like all the miscues or with Nakua going out because of personal foul. Like I mean, there was a lot of that stuff that needs to get cleaned up. But the game that felt more like lucky, not skill. At the end of it, if I'm being transparent. But I mean, we still projected a win.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes being lucky is better than earning something, but
For sure.
Feels better anyway. So that's my thought. We're going against Miami. I think we win that one, especially with Nakua and Cup.
Are you guys home?
If they're not getting thrown out of the game. I actually haven't looked into the details on that, but it's Monday night, so I'm not really worried about a sun or anything like that over there on the East Coast. If it is on the East Coast,
Right.
So yeah, that's I think we got a real shot at still getting into the playoffs. Now we just need to finish out our division games. Win
Those
the
pesky Cardinals.
win against the Cardinals, win against San Francisco again, which is going to be a lot harder now this time around. And then I think we got to play the Seahawks one more time. I haven't looked at the schedule, but if we do that, I think we'll at least hold on to all the tiebreakers. So there you have it.
Yeah, make a run, dude. Rooting for you. We're coming off a bye. We're heading into a tough matchup against the Commanders this week. I think we're a slight dog, but I don't know. I feel good about our chances. I'm looking forward to it.
If you're a slight dog, I'm still going to pick Pittsburgh this week.
Yeah, I was going to say Russ. It's got a week. Had a week off, but also just a week to just really acclimate to the system and everything. I don't know. I feel good. I feel very
excited
optimistic.
about Mike Williams.
Not fantasy wise, but team wise, yes. He's a good blocker downfield, and he's good at the 50-50 balls downfield, the moon balls that Russ likes to throw.
Yeah, if you get him one-on-one, like it's always a a nice. You got a good chance to come down with a good play.
Yeah, I think he's a good fit for the team. I worry about his health and whatnot. This is one of this guy. The way he plays so hard that he just hurts himself, and so I hope he stays
most
healthy.
People, when they think of Mike Williams, they think of somebody who like catapults himself way up in the air to get a ball and then lands on his back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how I think of Mike Williams. So, but no, he should be a good fit for our team, and I hope he stays healthy and we make a run here.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the move. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think this is this game is going to be a real good one for both teams to kind of because both the Commanders and the Steelers are a bit of a surprise this year, doing as well as we're doing, and so I think this one's kind of a get real game. You know what I mean? Which team is real? You know what I mean? So
I'm excited to talk about that game when we get to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we start our matchups?
Let's can we update where we're at on the Carolina? New York
We
game?
are. I have it, and I have a little delay. Carolina 17, Giants 7. It's the fourth quarter, 14 minutes left. Second down, and Giants. That's where we're at right now with
Come
that.
on, Daniel Jones, do something for me.
And I think he should
Neighbors.
just give up. I mean, he threw an interception not too long ago, and he should just give the ball to Tracy and just let Tracy finish the game.
And I think my notes about going into this game are like Daniel Jones, should he be on the hot seat? Like, should they be looking to go to Drew Lock?
Oh no! Like, what's the point of that? You know what I mean?
Drew Lock hasn't played yet for the Giants. See what you got.
I don't know. I think Locke is a known commodity.
If the best thing that can happen is that you lose the game so you get a better draft pick, why not give him a shot?
Well, Jones just threw a dart to Robinson over to the. They're still on their 40.
How many PPR points does Robinson have?
I don't.
We haven't updated. Can you? We need to update that. Neighbors had 14 last week.
Oh,
So the season-long bet that Brian and I have going on.
Oh, yeah,
I haven't updated since week 3.
It hasn't.
I figured towards the end of the season
neither of them have been getting. You haven't updated since when?
Week 3.
What?
Well, you guys aren't telling me the results, so I update it when you tell me.
What's the number that you have for each one?
Week 2 went to Neighbors.
Huh? No, you're just supposed to be counting the times that they get 12 PPR points. It's not like they're not going heads up, like one wins every week.
Gotcha. Well, we can backtrack that.
Yeah, we'll have to go back to
I
that.
thought we had numbers for that down.
I guess not. I guess I don't have them. I mean, it's not hard. It's not.
touchdown,
I can figure
Jones.
that out relatively quickly with AI these days. So maybe I will in between segments or something. But would you? Okay, hold on.
Is that Neighbors limping off? Oh my God!
Is it really?
Yes.
That's
And another note that I have here is did the Cowboys ruin Malik Neighbors' rookie season? He has not been the same since he face planted on Thursday Night Football against the Cowboys.
So Neighbors and who? Neighbors and who?
Wandale Robinson.
Wandale Robinson. We started the bet in week 2.
How many times have each of them?
It's since week 2.
Since week 2.
Since the start of week 2.
Have done what now?
Scored 12 points or more.
In PPR.
Okay.
PPR scoring.
Yeah. I think all our leagues are PPR, so.
No. He's asking AI to answer the question for him.
Gotcha.
So it looks like Robinson has got 4 weeks, and they both got 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was
week
both
2,
yeah.
4, 6, and 8 for Robinson, and week 2, 3, 5, and 7 for Neighbors.
Neighbors just did it again, I thought, last week. So
While Ken's looking up that, because AI with like history has a tendency to be a little bit behind as things update around the world, and it gets to scratch.
Yeah, Neighbors has 5
Okay.
of such weeks since week 2, including week 9, and then
All right.
We'll get a good update.
I feel good about that bet. About that bet. So.
So first up, we got Buffalo Bills versus Indiana
Robinson's
Colts.
about to do it right now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's at 10 points for the day.
Well, he
that's
just walked
right.
off the field.
And Robinson,
No, that's my guy.
that was Neighbors. And Robinson has 4 such weeks.
Okay, so Buffalo Bills versus Indiana Colts. Minus 4.5 for the Buffalo Bills. Over under is 46.5. Minus 230 is the money line if you're betting on the Bills. Plus 190 if you're betting on the Colts. This will be the first time that these two head coaches meet as head coaches, but Sean McDermott has considerable amount more experience going into this.
Yeah, this is an interesting game here. I think, on the surface, it's, easy Bills win. I think that's what most people would think here.
I think if you go pretty deep, it's still a pretty easy Bills win.
You think so? You don't think...
That's what I think.
and it might be,
Yeah,
but
no.
I don't know. I
think,
have
yeah,
Flacco.
So here's the way that the Bills get caught up in this one, I think. And then we'll go back to Flacco because I want to talk about Flacco too. Is the Bills play the Chiefs next week?
Okay.
And so if they're looking ahead, and they don't take the Colts seriously. They don't show up to play hard enough, and they don't get pressure on Flacco. He can kill you. Flacco can still kill you. So.
Well, and that was basically my point. Is that Flacco it just brings a little something different to this offense. I think Taylor is going to have some holes to run through, and I think that's going to make them condense the field, and then
so
Flacco's going to be able to take advantage.
Since Flacco has taken over, Jonathan Taylor has been less efficient, a lot less efficient. And
A lot less? Really? That's
yeah,
surprising.
and because they're able to actually stack the box, they don't have to worry about the threat of Anthony Richardson running the ball. So he was the beneficiary, efficiency-wise, of Anthony Richardson's threat to run the ball. And so Joe Flacco needs to be more efficient passing the ball in order for them than he has been.
Who'd they play last week? Andy, do you remember? I know he had a bad week last week, but I thought there was some circumstances there.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if he just crapped the bed or if he was just going up against a really tough defense, and that's just going to happen sometimes. And then,
No, it was Minnesota. that was at Minnesota.
Yeah, that Minnesota defense is good. Okay. Dude, like they're the reason. I mean, Sam Darnold, great story and all, but I mean, the reason why Minnesota has won all these games is because of that defense. I mean, that's the heart of their team. Okay.
They're all right.
I don't know, man.
They
I
got
think
some old
Flores
guys.
has
They got some old guys in the secondary.
I think Flores has that defense playing really well, but maybe I'm just a fan of his.
Flores is a smart dude.
Yeah, he's good. So anyway, I mean, I guess I'm still going to pick the Bills. I'm not crazy here, but
The Colts are at home.
I expect a good game. I expect a good
fantasy game. But yeah, I'd still, and on the Bills side of it, so interesting. I want to make sure that we get through this for the Bills. No Keon Coleman for like 4 weeks. I'm not sure if he made it to IR, but I believe the expectation is he's going to miss about a month.
Yeah, I saw something.
Amari Cooper, his foot's been bothering him. He essentially did the same thing this week that he did last week. I don't know if he was a game time decision.
Cooper's out.
Amari Cooper's out. So you've got Khalil Shakir. And I honestly don't know who else they've got at receiver anymore. And then I was already big on Kincaid. Kincaid had 11 targets, I think, last week. I think we have finally gotten there. It's Kincaid time. It has to be today.
Okay.
Right? It's got to be today. So I would start Kincaid anywhere that I have him today. If I was, if I had him anywhere, which I don't, because I have McBride in most places. So I had no reason to have Kincaid.
I was going to say, would you start him over Cade Otton though? Cade Otton has just been so good in that
Cade
offense.
Otton has been
until
really
those
good,
receivers come back. It's hard not to start him.
I'm worried because they're playing against a rested 49ers team.
I agree there.
That's got some extra juice now that they're just a different team when they have CMC.
Agreed.
The field feels slanted against their opponents.
Tracy's the 2-yard line, first down.
Ooh.
Daniel Jones
All right,
run it in.
There's Neighbors running back onto the field. All right, let's do it.
Is he really?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
now he's jogging back off.
I was going to say, I think he's in concussion protocol right now.
But he's jogging. He was going onto the field, and then he came back off, but not like...
Well, they said he was getting evaluated for concussion.
I'm watching it right now, and what is to tell you?
I'm just telling you what they told me. This is what they told me is concussion.
I'm telling you. I'm looking at it.
So is he on the field or not?
He left for a package shift. Daniel Jones.
No.
What happened?
Daniel Jones touchdown.
Yes, that helps someone. I needed that so bad.
Oh, you started Daniel Jones?
He did.
Oh,
He
wow.
did. So it helped him, not me.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I know. This feels like
That's awful.
last week all
that feels
over
terrible.
again.
Why couldn't he throw it to Neighbors? It would have helped you just the same.
Dude, I started this projected 40% chance to win too.
So yeah, start Shakir, start Dalton Kincaid today. Dawson Knox is a really good dart throw. He has more end zone targets this year than Kincaid does, and I told you that was going to happen. I told you.
Wait, sorry. Go ahead.
Dawson Knox has more end zone targets than Dalton Kincaid does this year.
Does he really?
I told you that was going to happen at the beginning of the year.
Does Dawson Knox have any
Dawson Knox
targets
has
other
a
than the red zone?
Dawson Knox for the season has a total of 12 targets.
Okay, I was going to say I don't think I've seen Dawson Knox all season.
But they're all money targets. He's on the field a lot. He's on the field between 40
he's just a good blocker.
Yes,
Yeah.
between 40 and 60%. And like I said going into the year that he's just him and Josh Allen are BFFs, and that shows up at crunch time.
Yeah.
Inside the red zone, and especially when they're light on weapons. And James Cook is an excellent play today. Has to be a really good play. In order for the narrative to play out, the story to play out the way that it's supposed to, with the Bills dominating the Colts, those are the guys that are going to have to do it, I think.
So you picked in the Bills?
Yes.
All right.
Let's move on. Spent a good chunky time on those guys. All right, next
They were
up.
worth it.
Next up, we got Minnesota Vikings versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Vikings are -7. Over/under is 42.5. -355 if you're betting on the Vikings. +280 if you're betting on the Jags. This head coach matchup looks like it's their first time playing against each other. They're both in their second seasons of being head coach. However, the Vikings have a 6-2 record this season, whereas the Jags have a 2-7 season.
Also, this is Doug Peterson's second stint as a head coach versus Kevin O'Connell's first.
Oh, wow.
So it's going much better for O'Connell right now than it is for Doug Peterson. And going much better for Tank Bigsby than it is for Travis Etienne right now. What happened, dude? I mean, I was never an Etienne guy. I just didn't see it.
Well, this is honestly a shocker because if you watched,
yes,
because I was watching
vast
Tank
majority of
last
people see
year,
it that way.
because I had Tank on one of my dynasty teams last year.
Sleeper.
I was just waiting, and then every time he touched the ball, he fumbled or did something stupid.
Dumb.
And by the end of the year, you're just like, this guy is absolute trash.
Dynasty tanked completely.
Absolutely,
tanked,
like he's on the waiver wire. You know what I mean? And he was a 3rd-round pick. Or
I
something?
have him in a lot of spots.
It's funny. And then coming into this year, like they're talking about how much Etienne's going to get the ball, and blah blah blah. Tanks are they want to give Tank the ball, blah blah blah. But we all know how much Tank sucks, so that's not a problem. And then all of a sudden, this year Tank is good. He comes out and he is just busting off powerful runs. He's fast,
running with purpose,
dude.
And the thing that was interesting about the fumbling is that my main takeaway with Tank Bigsby was that, like, after the draft season, I remember the guys I like to listen to, which is shout out to the with the First Pick podcast, Rick Spielman, and I always forget the host guy's name. I feel bad. Sorry, guys. Great, these guys are great. They always talk about the things they remember most from the entirety of the rookie scouting, and one of those things was Tank Bigsby's handshake and how strong his handshake was. And to Rick Spielman, who, if you remember, was the architect of some of those really good Vikings teams, said it reminded him of meeting Adrian Peterson. Like, same size, physical ability, and then the grip, the grip strength.
Okay.
And so the fumbling was just like, what? Why are you fumbling? That doesn't make any sense. Of all the things you could have been bad at when you got to the league, it's like fumbling. Come on. So I didn't think that was going to stick. But with how this team has not progressed, I think that's the thing that's still, like, iffy in terms of long term for him. But anyway,
and they're going to have some trouble progressing now because they've got Trevor Lawrence is
Thank
out
you for
the year.
that segue. Right? I don't know if it's out for the year. Is he?
I saw something like it's not looking good.
Anybody? Thank you.
He's definitely out for a while.
And actually, I don't along the similar lines of what I said about Dak being out and Dak not playing his best ball, I don't think Trevor Lawrence was playing very good football either. Right. So I don't necessarily think it's that much of a step down to Mac Jones. If anything, like, Mac Jones has had some time to, like, get away from spotlight, like, recollect himself. And, like, this was a guy that when he first started, people were like, "Oh, he might have been a diamond in the rough." The Patriots might have, like, for the first half of his rookie season, people were saying that the Patriots might have drafted the best quarterback in that class. And so I'm not down on more down on this team than I was last week.
So Brian Thomas is cleared. That's something that people might want to know out there. So you're going to play Brian Thomas. Yeah. So let me give you again real life scenario. Brian Thomas or Rashad White?
Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rashad White's been excellent, but, like, today his 5 catches are gonna go for, like, 8 yards when you're talking about the person he's gonna see all day is Fred
and that's
Warner.
who Rashad White is now. Is he's gonna get 4 to 7 catches and he's gonna get 6 to 8 carries.
The thing, yeah, and so he needs to make it count. Exactly, he needs to score, and those 5 to 6 catches that he gets needs to account for 35 to 40 yards somewhere in there in order for him to be valuable for your team. And I just don't think that's going to happen when you've got the group of defenders that the 49ers have, specifically Fred Warner, who's probably he's right to me. Like, when I think of the best defensive player in the game right now, like, it's TJ Watt, it's Fred Warner, and it's Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons is, like, he's been a little hurt this year, so it's, we're not talking about him as much, but I kind of feel like he's going to have an amazing second half of the year, whether the Cowboys are good or not.
So who are we picking here? I feel like we're.
I
went Vikings.
I like the Vikings too, but I think it's gonna be a close game.
I'll take the Vikings.
And one last thing I wanted to ask is, when do you think people have to start T.J. Hawkinson? Does that start today?
I want to see it first. He was on the field 45% of the snaps last week.
It was a low amount, and he had 4 targets and caught 3 of them.
I agree. And so, like, in my projections in my head, I guess I'm figuring he's on the field, 55,
45.
60. Yeah. So now he's probably going to be 55, 60. So I guess it depends on your options. If you have bad options, of course, I definitely play Hawkinson.
Where's the line?
But
for
if
you?
it's
where do you think he's at?
Hawkinson or Cotton or Kate Otten. I'm taking Kate Otten. Yeah. You know what I mean? Hawkinson or Kincaid.
What if you had
Hawkinson
or Ferguson?
I'd play Hawkinson.
Okay. Let's see. Hawkinson or Evan Ingram on the other side.
Ooh, that one's close. I'd probably go Hawkinson just because I don't know what I'm going to get out of the quarterbacking on the other side.
Dang, he just caught a tipped pass.
Who did?
That was good, man.
Is that Theo Johnson? I like him.
He's
the Giants tight end, the Giants young tight end. I like him a lot.
He had a whole.
I've been watching him all year because I've had to mess with some spots on some rosters in Dynasty, and just kind of hoping he doesn't pop off. And I had to jump last week because he had a really good second half, but he plays 90% of the snaps, and they just needed their offense to do a little more so that he can have some more scoring opportunities. But he's he should not be on the waiver wire in Dynasty.
So what is the spot in the game? What's the score?
17-14, and they're in the red zone.
Giants are driving.
Giants are driving. How much time left?
Did we pick this game last week?
No, I know you have this thing about picking games that are way out. So I conceded Sunday night, but continued Thursday, or Sunday mornings. I conceded Sunday mornings, but I kept
Fair
Thursday
enough.
going.
That's a nice compromise.
So, yeah.
Sorry, how much time left in the game?
There's 6 minutes left.
Oh wow.
All right,
on,
so we both picked the Vikings. You picked the Vikings as well.
All right, next up we got the Denver Broncos versus KC Chiefs. Denver Broncos is plus 7.5. Over/under is 42.5. Plus 300 if you're betting on the Broncos. Minus 380 if you're betting on the Chiefs. Now, this is the first time that these two head coaches, Sean Payton and Andy Reid, are meeting. But the Broncos are winning the all-time series 70-54.
Right?
No, I don't think they've met as Saints when he was a Saints.
He was also the Eagles head coach, and Sean Payton's been around since 2006. Okay. So they had to have met up before.
I'm getting that they haven't.
Yeah. Had to have.
I'm getting that they haven't. So
they had to have.
But AI's been wrong, but
but
it's talent. That's what
AI
it's reporting.
Interesting.
Yeah, AI is wrong sometimes. So, dude, how happy were you on Monday night with DeAndre Hopkins? You have him in Top Gun, right?
Oh yeah. I have more than Top Gun. I have him I'm playing in 6 leagues, and I've got him in 4 of them. Yeah, I've got Hopkins all over the place. So
because what were you going to do with him?
Oh, they just intercepted the ball.
As soon as he went to KC after all that,
they intercepted the ball in this massive juggle right now. No, I would consider it it was a juggle fight.
It's an interception, though?
Yeah, the interception.
Oh, it was Tracy.
Dang it. Oh, Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that's an interception. That's a Daniel Jones play for sure.
Dang it.
How much time is left?
5 minutes and 56 seconds. Time enough. Just make a stop and try again if they're going to do that.
Please. Come on. One more touchdown.
Quit throwing the ball. Just keep handing it to Tracy.
Yeah, I haven't been able to watch the second half of this game. But the first half of the game, Bryce Young looked great.
Dude, yeah, no, I the first quarter I got to watch pretty close, and I think that's where he was shining because the score didn't change much after that. But
there was a momentum
he really
shift
shined in the first
middle
quarter.
of the second quarter when the Panthers were driving and they had 3rd and 3, and then they had a false start.
Nah.
And then they end up kicking a field goal from there. And then, after they kicked the field goal, they missed the landing zone on the kickoff.
Yeah,
and the Giants got the ball at the 40-yard line, make one play, and were able to kick a field goal themselves. And now they're back in the game. And it's just and I haven't seen the Panthers play with the same momentum advantage since then. People that say momentum's not a thing are crazy, I think.
So what game were we talking about?
We were talking about Denver and KC, and I was talking about Hopkins.
Yeah.
And the thing to me is that he had 9 targets.
Yeah.
In the game.
I think that's going to go up.
I don't know if it's going to go up, but I think it's going to be consistent. I think it's like he's going to consistently get somewhere between like 7 and 10 targets, and you're going to have a chance to score every game.
Honestly, I think that once those two kind of get used to each other, I think they're going to really be good together. And obviously that's some hopefulness too. But
here's the thing: if you look at the percentage of snaps that DeAndre Hopkins played, he still played less than 60% of the snaps.
Right.
That's not going to go up.
Why? You don't think so?
He has to have knee surgery at the end of the season. I told you that weeks ago. He's had a knee problem. Like, you can look it up. He has I don't know if it's like an LCL or an MCL or a meniscus like slight tear or something like that, but they decided to just play out the season.
Probably meniscus.
Pain management, and he's going to have surgery as soon as the season's over. So I don't think that number is going to go up. I think they're going to have to manage him. So I think you're going to have some weeks.
That'll be an interesting thing to watch. Yeah.
I think it's going to be one of those situations where it's like Monday night was really good because they had to score. They had to throw the ball. Mm-hmm. But I think there's going to be games where they don't have to throw the ball that much, and you're going to be unhappy with his like 6 targets, 4 catches, and 48 yards or something like that.
So going to this game, it feels like, to me, like even what we're talking about there, it feels like this is going to be a defensive game. Like it feels like it's going to be 17-14.
I think so. I think it is going to be
21-17 at the most.
What's the over-under for this game, Ray?
This over-under is 42.5.
I would take the under.
Yeah, it does feel like an under game. Mm-hmm. I agree.
And then, on the other side, Bo Nix has been excellent. He has proven.
I wouldn't be excited to play him here, though.
No, I wouldn't either. Not excited, but I mean,
maybe if you had to, but try not to.
Yeah, it's entirely possible that you don't have a better option. That's possible.
Don't go to Daniel Jones.
I wouldn't do that. I would not have started Daniel Jones over Bo Nix today.
Kyler Murray has a really tough matchup.
But he's got the ball again. So. Daniel Jones has the ball again.
Yes.
Crazy, huh?
The Panthers played it safe, and
And they're handing the ball to Tracy.
I like him a lot.
Oh, there's flags.
I've had so many people try to get him off of me in Dynasty. And
I can see that.
Not happening.
So I'm going to take KC here. I don't. The Denver options, I don't really love any of them, but you can play. Sutton. You can play Williams. You know what I mean. You can play Bo Nix if you have to. Those would be the only three. But I wouldn't feel good about any of those. Sorry, what was that, Ray?
I was just saying good morning to somebody who said good morning.
When is Mahomes going to lose again, dude?
Who is?
When is Mahomes going to lose again?
I don't know. Honestly,
to me, I think there's 2 chances on their schedule left. One of them is next week.
Which is?
At Buffalo.
Uh-huh.
And the only other one to me is Christmas.
Is that Steelers?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Honestly, and those are probably the 2 best chances. I think they have a slight chance here. This is a divisional game against a good defense, against a team that's coming together.
They're at home.
And honestly, the way Kansas City is playing right now is the games are always going to be close. And so
I agree with that. But Mahomes plays into that. He
plays so good.
He is so it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how he can beat you exactly when he needs to beat you, whether the game is a 17-13 game or a 38-35 game. It's absolutely
whatever he has to do, whatever he needs to do, that's what'll get done.
Yeah.
Give me KC.
Yeah, same.
All right, next up we have Atlanta Falcons versus the Saints. Let's see here. Let me scroll a little bit. Atlanta Falcons -3.5. Over/under is 46.5. -192 if you're betting on the Falcons. +160 if you are betting on the Saints. Now, the Saints have an interim head coach right now, right? So, I mean, it'll be the first time these 2 head coaches match up together.
Well, and one thing to keep in mind is that teams do tend to play better for that new coach. You know what I mean? When the old coach gets fired, new coach
comes shot in the arm.
And look at the Panthers.
But look at
didn't we say this though back in Jets? Didn't we say this when the Jets just did this? We just went through this, right?
Right.
The Jets and the Vikings or something like that match up a few weeks ago.
The Jets
and the Jets still lost.
Right, but they played better and they won the next week. Yeah, I think they are playing better.
The first game, I believe, was the game against the Steelers, right?
I don't remember.
I don't remember exactly either, but I know it was the Vikings game in London that got him fired.
Okay.
That I know. And there was something to that about like he was embarrassed because he's got like powerful friends in England.
That's funny.
And to think that like I'm sorry, it's a conversation from before, like to think that politicians and stuff aren't power hungry and like psychopaths who aren't corrupt when they're funded by people like this guy. anyway, so I think that situation was entirely different. You had first of all, I thought it was completely asinine of the Jets to fire Saleh. When you look at from the standpoint that the season was certainly not out of reach. Everything that they wanted to be able to do, except for going like 15-2 or something like that, was still within reach.
I think there was something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about.
It just seems a little more dysfunctional than we thought it was from the top down. To me, that's what we've gotten out of this whole scenario, because if you compare this situation to what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had when they brought in Tom Brady, there are so many similarities. It's crazy, especially after you added Devontae Adams, and Aaron Rodgers is still just 8 at this point, when they fired him, just like 6 games in to his, his Jets career. At 6 games in, people thought Tom Brady should retire.
Right. No, that's true. I remember that year because he was horrible for the first half of the year.
It was so bad.
And it really came together at the end. Yeah.
Yes, everything came together at the end. They figured out what they were good at, and they started attacking teams in specific ways, and they went on a historic run. And I'm not saying that was going to happen with the Jets, but I'm saying like you brought in a Hall of Famer to do exactly that. Give him a chance. Give him a chance to do it. And to me, you just by firing Saleh, you made things harder. You made things more complicated, because now he's got 2 guys that are giving him offensive information, and one of them just like, that might be what we're doing, but check with the boss, before you go ahead and move forward with whatever it is you're planning, because now you've got a lame duck offensive coordinator who everybody knows should have been fired. If you were going to fire somebody, it should have been him.
Yeah. So which game were we talking about?
We're talking about the New Orleans game. So I'm sorry. Thank you.
We've been rambling a lot this morning.
The way that this is different.
We're very behind.
I'm sorry. The way that Brent, thank you. The way that this is different is that Derek Carr is not Aaron Rodgers. Alvin Kamara has a broken hand. They have pulled receivers off the street who've now gone to IR. Cedric Wilson.
Right.
So who are you going to turn to? 32-year-old Taysom Hill? Is it Taysom Hill day? Is that what we're doing?
Taysom Hill's definitely going to have
spoiler
opportunities
alert,
today.
I'm
so
playing
is Kamara.
Juwan Johnson in DFS today because they've got no one else to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
There's no one else.
And they're going to be throwing the ball because they're going to be behind.
Mason Tipton is a name that you need to know for today. Like if you're going to watch the game, I think is Bub Means playing.
Don't know.
I don't know either. But he's a rookie that had some decent tape.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know where their offense is going to come from. So if I'm a Kamara manager, I'm terrified.
Really?
Because
I am a Kamara manager, and I'm pretty happy. I feel very confident.
I wouldn't.
He's going to get a crap ton of targets.
Today?
He's got a broken hand. He has a broken hand.
I haven't been seeing it. I haven't seen any concern in injury reports and whatnot. The guys I listen to love him. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I feel confident.
I put him in my DraftKings lineup, so I hope Ken's wrong.
Yeah, a lot of people are playing him, but I think that the scoring opportunities are going to go through the floor. I think you're talking about a team.
Hopefully, it's not this week.
You're talking about a team that's.
I am definitely talking more targets than scoring opportunities.
Yeah, but I think it's good. You're going to have a lot of Rashad White-like games. And as soon as Kendre Miller
I'll take Rashad White from last year.
And as soon as Kendre Miller comes off of the IR, which he was placed on arbitrarily because...
That's a fun story, yeah.
That's not fun. As somebody who has him in a couple of spots in Dynasty, no, that hasn't been fun at all. The Kendra Miller saga has not been fun at all. Like, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna keep this PG-13, and say nothing about Dennis Allen because there's like if I have to say something about him, then it's gonna get gross.
Yep.
Like that's crazy. That is crazy to do that to a young player. Anyway, when he comes back and the Saints are 2-10, like if Kamara is, I don't know. It just depends. Like I'm worried. I'm worried about like not right this second, but like when you get to the playoffs, we're talking 4 weeks.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like
there's a lot of ways it can go.
They could look entirely different. It could be back to Rattler instead of Carr, or they could be swapping back and forth between Hainer and Rattler. We don't know. We have no idea what's going to happen now. And so if it were me, I'd be trying to sell high on Kamara.
I can see
like
that.
really, really high. Like I'm talking like, go get Breece Hall. Because would the Breece Hall manager not do that? Not take Kamara? Probably. I wouldn't.
I was going to say I'm a Breece Hall manager as well, and I wouldn't take him for Kamara,
like I'm not talking about dynasty. I'm talking about redraft.
Still,
and like based on what Breece Hall has done, I
guess I'm expecting big things there. But sorry, we are way off track and way over time here. And
I picked the Falcons.
I take the Falcons.
All right.
We didn't have to talk about them because we just spent so much time talking about how bad
start
the
everybody.
Saints are. Drake London is supposed to play today.
Yes.
That's the most important thing to know. Darnell Mooney, though, I think leads the team in targets today. So
next up, Pittsburgh Steelers versus Commanders. +1.5 on the Steelers. Over under is 45. +102 if you're betting on the Steelers. -122 if you're betting on the Commanders. And this should be Tomlin and Quinn's, according to AI's first matchup together.
That I believe.
All right. I feel good about this game. This is going to be a fun one. This is two very competitive teams going at each other, and I like my Steelers. Williams will probably be on the field, but I doubt it's going to be enough to I don't think it's fantasy relevant, and I don't know about as far as play goes, but should be interesting to see as things go on how him and Pickens work out. I think if anything, he helps Pickens out. But Najee should roll today, and we'll see if the Commanders can do something against the defense. That's really going to be the big thing.
You're not worried about Jalen Warren eating into Najee's touches to the point where he's not.
Not now, guy? No.
Still top 20 guy.
Yes, okay. For sure. Yes, but that is a concern for the future, but not currently.
Okay. Did you guys happen to see any of the posts that were about the mirrored statistics between RG3 and Jaden Daniels?
No, I didn't see that.
They're through their first what is he in 10 games now? Have they, 8 games.
9.
First 8 games.
8.
Through their
nine.
Whatever it is.
Yeah,
8
Commanders
or 9.
are 7-2.
Their numbers are almost identical. Almost talking completion percentage, passing yards, rushing yards, touchdowns, turnovers. All of it.
That's cool. And this was that, and that's the year that RG3 was the talk of the league.
Up until he ran up against an AFC North team.
Was it us?
It wasn't you. It was the purple
Baltimore?
team.
Yeah.
And he's never been the same. Literally never been the same. I'm not saying that's going to happen to Jaden Daniels, but I do expect the party to stop today.
Give me some Steelers.
Yes.
Everybody's going Steelers?
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we got San Francisco versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. San Francisco's -6.5. The over-under is at 50.5. -298 if you're betting on the Niners, and +240 if you're betting on the Bucks. And again, according to AI, this is the first time these two head coaches will have met. But, let's leave it right there. 20 wins to 7. 49ers win the all-time series.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, this feels like a Niners game all the way. There's just too many injuries on the Tampa Bay side.
But Tampa Bay played Kansas City really tough.
I agree, and I do expect this to be a fun fantasy game. I think there's going to be some points scored. I do, agree. But in the end, I see San Francisco winning by 7 to 10 points.
I think so too. I think San Francisco is going to win this game by at least a touchdown. The Buccaneers were able to score 27 points against the Chiefs, mostly with 0 wide receiver help. That has to change. He has to get those other wide receivers involved in order for them to have success going forward, because teams aren't going to allow him to just throw the ball to Kate Otten over the middle of the field.
Yeah,
and
that's
dump
my
it
one
off
worry about
to
Kate
Bucky
Otten.
Irving and Rashad White and get chunks of yards. That's not going to continue to work. I've been betting on Baker Mayfield. I think that the fact that they were able to, produce against the Chiefs when he wasn't able to go to his wide receivers is just another notch in his belt. Like, he is just playing.
He's been impressive.
Superb football. It has been awesome. Like, I know Lamar Jackson's getting all the love because he's getting all the results and stuff, but like, to me, nobody's playing better at quarterback than like Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson. Like, those 3 guys. And Josh Allen too. Josh Allen's playing really mistake-free football. Yeah. That's not getting a whole lot of respect, I don't think, but I think the guy's got 1 interception this year or something like that. Is something absurd. I think that Tampa Bay, I don't expect them to have their receiver problem solved today. So I think they're still going to struggle, and I think they're just going to come up short. You're talking like 20.
Put up a good effort, but come up short.
You're talking like 27-17, 28-17, 30-17, something like that, I think. I expect
honestly,
CMC is
could
back.
even be a little bit more, man. I feel like this might be like a 34-27 kind of game.
I think I don't think the Bucks are going to be able to keep up. I think that especially after the 49ers are able to look at what they were successful at on Monday night, and like if they're able to take that away, which I expect them to be able to do, I expect them to be able to slow down the Kate Otten train.
Right.
And the Buccaneers are going to have to figure something else out. And I really just don't think they're going to be able to do it today in a way that allows them to keep up. And I think we'll learn a lot with like the 49ers first possession and how explosive CMC looks. And if CMC looks good, the 49ers could win this game by almost 20 points, I think, today. That's just the way I see it. They've dominated this team.
I can definitely see
the last couple of
way.
years when they've gotten together. And the situation has been better for the Buccaneers, except with the exception of the level that Baker Mayfield's playing at. But yeah, give me the 49ers today.
Give me some Niners. And did something just happen in the game there? Because I was just looking at the scores here, and looked like Giants had the ball with a minute to play.
Bless you, Logan.
That's what I have right now. So that's currently exactly what I'm seeing.
17-14, Giants have the ball. They're driving. They are right at the edge of field goal range.
Okay, it must have been a big play because Daniel Jones' score just bumped up quite a bit.
I only got it bumped up at 1.8 points.
They maybe
1.5.
Oh, you know what? I'm looking at my DraftKings where I've got him as the captain,
Gotcha.
so it's going up at 1.5 times rather than 1 time. So it was a much bigger jump on that. My bad.
Next up, we got the New England Patriots plus 6.5 over under 37.
Well, actually, it is 9:30. Did you want to do the DraftKings lineup real quick?
Not till we get through all the morning games.
Fair enough. Makes sense.
New England Patriots versus Chicago Bears. New England plus 6.5. The over under is 37.5. Plus 260 if you're betting on the Patriots, and minus 325 if you're betting on the Browns.
Bears.
Okay. I was confused there. I was like, wait.
No. I'm sorry. No, you said Browns.
Yeah, I meant Bears.
And I just corrected the Bears. I'm actually on the fence on this one. Like, this is, I think, the hardest game to pick of the day.
This is a tough
because
one.
like if you like the Bears offense has been sputtering a little bit.
Yep.
But according to Gerard Mayo, head coach of the Patriots, they soft.
Really?
on defense. So and that's one of those things that when that something like that happens, like things either get dramatically better in a short, for at least a short period of time, or they get worse. And so I don't know. I don't know much about this Patriots team. Like, they've made a lot of changes. They don't have.
And
a
what
lot
are you
going to
get out of Drake
that we're
May?
used to.
He's been kind of back
to me, it's
and
not
forth.
Drake May. I think I like watching this Patriots offense grow with Drake May. I
agree with that.
I like watching him play football. I think they've got some interesting pieces on offense.
I think he's going to be a good.
Ramondre Stevenson's a really solid football player.
Yep.
And someone with the way that he's their only weapon inside the red zone, other than maybe Hunter Henry. So you got to start him every week because he's on your bench. He's killing you. He's scoring every week. So, like, the Bears are sputtering. So, like, I'm inclined to pick the Patriots in this game. Like, I kind of want to, but the Bears are at home, so
yeah.
I'm gonna pick the Bears.
I'm similar thinking. I'm going to take the Bears as well.
I like Rome Odunze.
In this game in particular?
I think that DJ Moore gets the attention as the number one. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to continue. I think by the time the season's over, that won't be the case. And Rome Odunze is starting to ramp up in the amount of targets that he's getting, and so I think that that big game where he gets 10, 12 targets is coming up pretty soon. It
Problem there is that Keenan Allen's sucking up a lot of those targets
he's
too.
Been getting less.
He's still getting short targets. Don't get me wrong. He's not putting up big numbers, but he is still getting 7 to 9 targets a game. So
he hasn't been the last couple of weeks.
You sure?
Yeah. It's been bad for me. I traded for him on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter too much. You're not trading for him or starting him anyway. But I guess I was just saying he's just that extra suction away from the two wide receivers you were talking about.
Yeah,
there.
he had 10 last week against the Cardinals, but before that it was he hadn't had more than 7 since the opener.
Right on.
And I think Odunze had 9 last week, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, give me the Bears. What's the end? What happened at the end of the game there?
No, they're still going. They're going to go kick a field goal to tie it and put it into overtime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
But just
more
that
points.
that
Still got a
third down
chance.
that third down play was just awful. Just like I was like, why didn't you just hand the ball off, get a couple more yards, no, just this garbage throw to the
Yes. Odunze was 7 targets last week, but 5 for 104.
yeah, yeah, they're definitely more valuable for sure.
Yeah. And
All right, give me the Bears too.
All right.
Rome Odunze.
With that, that's all
Today.
our morning games right now. So we're gonna go and flip over to DraftKings and let you guys know what's going on with DraftKings. Let me see here. Let me get my lineup pulled up. The first one to get their lineup pulled up, I guess, is me. Am I the first one?
Looks like it.
I'm there
So
too.
I'm going with Brock Purdy today, 6,500 as my quarterback. Aaron Jones going up against Jacksonville. And then Alvin Kamara, despite his
Okay.
possible broken hand that we were talking about. Then for wide receiver, I picked up Humphrey. That was like I actually spent a lot of time picking that wide receiver. I went through a lot of game logs, and that's just where I landed. I needed to save some money. McConkey.
How much was he?
3,200.
Oh, nice.
McConkey and Shakir's been pretty consistent. I have him on my lineup for our league of record, and so I was okay with picking him up, going up against the 24th defense in receiving. And then C. Otten for my tight end, and Jennings for my flex with the Bears defense.
If you don't mind, I'll go next, just because I have a lot of overlap with you here this week. Ray. We've got the same quarterback, Brock Purdy. We've got the same running backs, Aaron Jones and Alvin Kamara. We start to differ here at the wide receivers. I took some cheap plays here because I spent up elsewhere. So I went with DeAndre Hopkins at just 5,300. I think he's going to get peppered with targets. Juwan Jennings for San Francisco seems to be the free square this week. I think that's pretty easy to put in your lineup.
I disagree with that one.
Really?
Yeah, I think that the free square is Pearsall.
Wow. Okay. Honestly, that feels like a hot take to me because Pearsall feels iffy.
He looks really good.
Okay. Interesting. And then my third wide receiver is Ray McLeod. Again, just 4,300. He's a savings, and he's been consistently getting between the 7 and 12-point range. So, maybe he gets a touchdown and really shoots me off.
We're going to be against each other a couple of times. It's fun. Like if your guy goes off, then my guy's
Oh, I
not
see.
going off,
I see. Okay.
and vice versa.
At tight end, we talked about Hunter Henry earlier. There's a good chance that he's going to have a pretty good game here. Drake May does seem to find him out there, and there's just not a lot of targets to go or other targets to go after. In my flex, this is my flex right here because I went with Breece Hall in the flex spot. Tough to get him in there, but you could see some of my savings in the wide receiver to get him. And then for my DST, I had to go pretty cheap, and I went with New England defense. They're 2,500, and like I say, the Bears' offense has been sputtering. If we can get a little action there. Who knows? Maybe the Patriots deal will be good.
I thought that their defense was way too low considering. Like,
Yeah,
Bears' offense
2,500 I
has been
thought was a deal.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Who was your quarterback?
Purdy.
Okay, yeah. So we're all on Purdy. I have Barkley at 8,300.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
And then I've got Austin Eckler at 5,800.
Okay, with Brian Robinson out. Yeah.
No Brian Robinson. I'm not going to Chris Rodriguez. My receivers are Justin Jefferson at 8,800.
Pretty good.
Darnell Mooney at 6,500. And I've got Ricky Pearsall at 4,400. I think that he is the long-term solution to the other wide receiver position for the 49ers, whether they choose to – because I think that like they inked Brandon Ayuk to a deal, and they reworked Deebo Samuel's deal. So I imagine that Deebo is probably done after this season, and they have more of a capital investment in Ricky Pearsall than they do Juwan Jennings.
For sure.
And
actually, didn't they sign Jennings?
They did sign him to a new deal too.
Okay,
but he got a smaller deal. It's like 3 years. It's like
Right.
I want to say it's like $7 or $8 million a year, something like that. Somewhere in the
Yeah, that seems right.
It's a good deal. It's one of those
Yeah.
like, hey, we appreciate you type.
And
type
Pearsall
deals.
was a
Don't go
first
anywhere,
round
please.
pick, right?
And Pearsall's a
Late
first round.
so.
He's a first round draft pick, drafted in front of Xavier Legette.
Yeah, long-term value, I completely agree that
actually-
Pearsall's better. I just feel like he hasn't really worked his way into the system as much as Jennings has. Jennings
Last couple
seems
weeks,
more valuable.
The last
but
couple weeks,
you might have been paying more attention to the Niner games than I have, judging by your outfit.
I do watch. Yes, it is much more likely that I've watched 100% of the 49er game week in, week out than the Cowboy game. And those of you out there with significant others will understand.
Right.
But yeah, I think
Right.
that she loves football. It's great. So yeah, I think Pearsall looks great. I love Juwan Jennings. I'm a huge fan of his, but I think Pearsall can just do things that aren't in Juwan Jennings' skill set.
Makes sense.
And so that's why I like him.
Right.
So sorry, little digression there. We never do that. Tight end at 3,300. I said this earlier. I've got Juwan Johnson because the Saints, I just feel like they don't have anywhere else to go with the ball. In my flex position, I've got Nick Westbrook-Akine,
Okay.
who has scored in 4 consecutive games.
Yes, he has.
And so he is quarterback proof. He's been the most consistent target for Tennessee. He's only $3,800, so he doesn't have to do much. We're talking like he gets you 3 catches for 50 yards, 3 catches for 45 yards, and you're pretty happy.
Agreed, but that is a butt pucker pick, man.
It really is.
Like, oh, God.
It's, you know what? Yes. Over the last 3 weeks, though, 4 targets, 6 targets. And the game against New England last week was 5 for 50 in the touchdown. So, and like I said, he scored in 4 consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I expect that to happen again, but he doesn't have to do very much. And
the potential's there.
yeah, and the Chargers aren't a great matchup, but the main coverage should go to Ridley.
Yeah.
So he should be able to have a decent game. Yeah, I like him. And then obviously the Patriots are like they should. It just feels like a free start at defense.
Yep.
So-
Tournament lineup?
Sure.
Real quick. I've tried to stack the Buffalo Indy game. That's my game here. So I'm going to go with Flacco and Josh Downs is my main connection there. And I'm going to follow it back with Shakir on the other side. I think there's a good chance Shakir has a big day today. My running backs, I went with Saquon Barkley and Aaron Jones. They're going up against the 29th and 30th ranked defenses. They should be good.
Hey. Barkley's up against Dallas. That's all.
Sorry. They were 29th. They're not 30th.
It's so bad.
Wide receiver, I told you 2 of them. Deebo Samuel is my third. Feels like Deebo could have a really big day today. Somebody's going to have a big day on that offense, so maybe it's Deebo. Hunter Henry is just too cheap at 3,900, so I went with him again. Because I spent so much on the other spots, I had to spend down this time on my flex. And I put in Taysom Hill at 4,000.
Nice.
At 4,000, he could have 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He always has one of those games
like
a year.
I said earlier, Taysom Hill and Juwan Johnson. These are the guys that if you're trying to play Saints players, those. Who else are you going to?
Yeah. So there's a real good chance he's got some touchdowns today. And then the Patriots Deegan.
Nice. All right. So I've got one as well. I am stacking the Cowboys-Eagles game, though.
Okay.
And for $5,100, I'm going to start Cooper Rush.
Nice.
I'm going to start Rico Dowdle at $6,100 because he's been getting plenty of targets. And so you're getting a really nice floor with Rico Dowdle, despite the fact that the Cowboys can't run the football. DeAndre Swift has been pretty great against the Patriots at home. To stack against Cooper Rush and Rico Dowdle, I've got both A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith for a combined $16K. And then, again, I've got Ricky Pearsall at $4,400. I really, he's one of my favorite plays of the day. Then at tight end, I'm going to play T.J. Hawkinson.
Okay.
And
how much is he, by the way?
47.
All right.
He's 200 less than Dalton Kincaid, and I couldn't make it work and make everything stack properly because I spent exactly the amount of dollars. I really wanted to play Kincaid and not play Hawkinson. So if you can do that, Kincaid's only 4,900. I think that's a great play. I didn't get him into my DFS lineups, but I think he's an outstanding play today. And then at flex, I have to stack back against Ricky Pearsall. I've got Jalen McMillan for the Buccaneers. If they are going to get their wide receivers involved, I believe he is number one in line to receive the bulk of the targets. And then at defense, I've got the Bears to pair with my running back of DeAndre Swift. So,
all right.
So it looks like Tracy just either fumbled the ball or caused an interception. I got some lag there. And it was the second play of overtime.
Oh my God! So the Panthers
they're in scoring position.
The Panthers are just going to kick a field goal and win this game.
Kick a field goal and win. Yep. So that's a wrap here in a couple plays.
Brutal.
So should we continue to the afternoon games?
Let's do this. Who's first?
Tennessee Titans versus LA Chargers. Tennessee Titans +8 over unders 40. Oh wait, you know what? Before I get to that, we did have a question.
Oh, nice.
Odunze or Purcell at flex?
Ooh, that's
Odunze or Pearsall,
a good one. Based on who's done it so far, Odunze. Odunze has played more than 70% of the snaps in every single game this season, so he's going to be on the field. You don't know exactly what the 49ers are going to do with Christian McCaffrey. You don't know how much he's going to play, which means you don't know how much Jordan Mason might play, which means they could end up getting a bulk of the entire touches altogether. I would probably lean Odunze. And I love Pearsall.
And I think Pearsall might have a higher ceiling.
I don't even know about that. I love Odunze. I like Odunze a lot today, and going the rest of the season.
It would be hard to put him down for Pearsall. So yeah, I agree. I'd go with Odunze, safer.
There you have it. So next up, we got the Tennessee Titans versus the LA Chargers. +8 on the Titans. Over unders of 40, +310 on the Titans. If you're the money line, -395 for the Chargers.
And what was the over under on this one?
40.
40. Honestly, that seems a little high.
Maybe. If anything, it's high.
This feels like a defensive game to me.
But you know what? That Chargers offense has been getting a little more explosive with Quentin Johnson. And I think that's the main thing I want to ask you about this game is Cuge for real? Is it Cuge time?
Honestly, I didn't get a chance to really watch a lot of him last week. And he had a nice little start at the beginning of the season, because last year he was awful.
He's got 2 games with 2 touchdowns now.
And last year he was completely awful, and you're like, is this guy even going to make it in the league? And then this year it's like, oh, okay, we got something here maybe. But then he got hurt, right? And
yeah, he missed about 4 weeks, I think. 3 or 4
so
weeks in there.
Does he pick up right where he left off? And
I kind of think that it gave Ladd McConkey a chance to be the focal point and get some important work in. And I'm kind of excited to see what the pair of them do, for the rest of the season with Justin Herbert, who's been like an afterthought this year in fantasy football, but he's a stud. We know what Justin Herbert can do when you give him some weapons. So if these guys are legit, this could be the beginning of something really fun.
Yeah, it was a fumble.
And J.K. Dobbins is getting the work.
That is the worst.
It looked like a punched out fumble too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Great.
That stinks.
Stupid Daniel Jones.
No, it was Tracy.
I know, but Screw Daniel Jones.
I agree with you.
Damn that guy.
I can't say anything in defense.
Start
of
going
Daniel
with
Jones there.
matchups, and you're just like, well, this is the worst defense
What I can
in
tell
the
you is that
league.
Malik Neighbors did not get to 12 points today.
Yeah, well, yeah. He went out with concussion.
Well, I'm going to go with the Chargers this week against the Titans.
I will take the Chargers as well. Thank you all.
Wandale did not get to 12 points either.
Yeah.
He had 10 points in the first half.
That makes sense.
And Ken, are you going Chargers or Titans?
I'm going with the Chargers at home.
We've been on the same page this entire Sunday, but I have a feeling that we're going to break that up right now with the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys. Eagles are -7, over-under is 43.5. Money line is -360, plus
Says the guy wearing
285
the
if
hat.
you're betting on the Cowboys. I, of course, will be going Eagles because the Cowboys just have not been showing up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the Eagles as well. And we talked a little bit about this game, but yeah, I mean, you got to start Barkley, and you got to. I mean, you're starting everybody for Philly, and then on Dallas side, you're wondering what you're gonna get with Cooper. So,
I'm not running away from Dallas fantasy options.
Well,
at
I
this-
mean,
at this
so
point.
you're starting Dowdle, you're starting CD. Is there anybody else?
Like if I had to, like I still think that Ferguson is a top 12-ish start until like he has too many targets per game to just run away from him unless you have a good start. So like to me, like you said you take Hawkinson over Ferguson
Yes.
right today. I don't know if I'd do that.
Okay.
I don't think I
You
would.
think that's close?
Yeah, I think that's right where the line is.
Okay.
Because I think that the upside of Hawkinson is huge, but the floor that you've been getting from Ferguson is comfortable.
That's fair.
And so while I don't think that Ferguson has like the 25 to 30 point upside that I expected him to have with Dak in certain matchups, I still expect him to have 6 to 8 targets, catch 5 of them, maybe have 50 yards and a touchdown. So he's still somebody that I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't want to run away from because until they like he has not had a game. Let me see what the low point for Ferguson is in terms of targets for the season because I think he's been pretty consistently high.
Yeah.
He has 2 games this season with less than 6 targets, and it was 5 targets in one and 4 in the other, and those are just like you'll live with that at tight end.
Yeah.
It's the 3 targets, no catches, goosed me. That you can't, that you
he's
can't
a
have.
serviceable tight
And
end.
his-
But the big thing is, what's he going to be with Cooper? Is that going to be a downgrade? And
I don't know yet.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know yet.
So
And
it's iffy, and so I'd want to
as
go
a
to safety somewhere
as someone
else.
who's a
personally.
Cowboys fan, I'm telling you that I don't think the drop off is going to be so dramatic. Like I don't think Cooper Rush isn't going to go out there and get sacked 8 times. Whereas in a game where Dak wouldn't have also gotten sacked 8 times. Let me caveat that because that could happen. He could go out there today and get sacked 8 times, but Dak would have too. Because Dak has not been showing anything like athletically that sets him apart from another quarterback unless it's decision making. And I've watched Cooper Rush play a lot of football. He's not a bad quarterback. He's not going to take a lot of chances. So if anything, the offense could become more efficient,
All right.
less chaotic.
So you're taking the Cowboys then, yeah?
Of course I am.
All right.
Fuck the Eagles.
100% confidence.
Are you kidding? I am 100% confident that I believe in fuck the Eagles until the day I die.
All right. Next up, we got the New York Jets versus the Arizona Cardinals. New York Jets are -1.5. Over under is 46. -130 if you're betting on the Jets. +110 if you're betting on the Cardinals. I'd like the Cardinals to lose, but I have a feeling they're gonna beat the Jets today. So I'm going Cardinals.
Wow.
Ooh, I don't
I'm
agree with
going
that.
Jets.
Yeah, I'm going Jets too.
Honestly, I
hope
think
you're
I think
right.
Jets are putting things together.
Yeah.
Like that run you were talking about that Brady made in his year. I feel like Rodgers has a real good chance to make that run. I think he's got good pieces around him on the offense, and I think the defense is really good. I think they're going to go. I do know, I talked last week about the Cardinals playing better ball, and I do agree with that. I think this is going to be a fun, good game, but I think the Jets come out on top.
I think this is going to be a good game because the Jets aren't very good at stopping the run. So this is a game that, like, if you're worried,
Conner's gonna roll.
when you look at the schedule list and you see, at Jets versus Jets, like as a Connor manager, like you cringe a little bit, but don't.
Yeah.
Just play him. It's going to work.
And I sat Kyler Murray for Daniel Jones, unfortunately. But I sat Kyler Murray because that Jets defense, they defend the pass incredibly well. And Kyler's been on a little bit of a down streak and whatnot. He hasn't really put it together with Harrison. And
let me ask you a real question.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison or Jalen Waddle?
I'd take Waddle. Personally. And especially with I think it's a small chance, but the chance that Hill doesn't play, then Waddle's the number one there. I think that's that would be huge. But even with Hill playing, which I expect him to play, I still like Waddle there. He's got those opportunities. So, all right.
So next up is the evening game: Detroit Lions versus the Houston Texans. Let's see here. The Lions are -3.5. Over under is 49.5. -192 if you're betting on the Lions, and +160 if you're betting on the Texans. All will be going the Lions on this game.
This is the best game of the week.
I was going to say this is a fun game.
Yeah.
This is a fun game right here.
There's a lot of fun games this week. Like this is a good slate. This is a really good slate of games. Like
I'm sorry. Before we get to, I need to ask a pertinent question real quick here. What do you think of Joe Mixon in this game? He's been so hot, but this is such a bad.
I don't want to play Joe Mixon this week. If I had you can't not play Joe Mixon. He's been too good. We're talking about I think he's number 3 in points per game on the season.
Mixon or Najee Harris?
I'm playing Mixon. I'll live with whatever happens there.
It feels like it, huh?
Yeah, there's no way because Mixon scores twice on your bench. You're just gonna pull your hair out.
Right. And I don't have much hair to spare.
I don't either. So exactly. So you know exactly how important that is. This motherfucker. All right, hair commercial. Go do a shampoo commercial.
Yeah, I was gonna say use his shampoo, not ours.
The secret is to just use shampoo. I mean, I hear so many guys in the locker room talking about just using a bar of soap.
Let me tell you. It doesn't matter.
Right? I was like, I use shampoo.
Yeah.
What do you use to wash your hair? A bar soap?
No, thank you.
Wash my hair? Why would I do that? No. I don't think that's it. There's lots lots of theories.
Purely genetic.
Yeah.
It's purely genetic. That's all.
And there's ways to combat it, and they're all very expensive.
Yeah. Build rockets.
I wish we had a little more.
The guy from Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy, gets surgeries every couple of years. So, yeah, so his hair always looks really thick and wavy and stuff like that. That's because he doesn't ever let it become anything less than that. He has like scheduled hair surgeries.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, huh. Yeah.
Okay, so I went Lions, and you two are.
I'm actually looking up the status of Nico Collins right now.
I think
because if Nico was playing, if I felt confident that Nico was in good health, I think I might take Houston here. You know what I mean?
I'm not. I'm going to take Detroit regardless.
I'm going to take Detroit. Nico is a game time decision.
I think he's going to play.
And it's a hamstring, so even if he does play, he might be limited.
I'm of the same belief as some, fantasy football talking heads this week that like they didn't have any real reason to activate him yet unless they were going to play him. They didn't have to. They had time.
Yeah.
So they had to clear a roster spot for him. So I think he's going to play. He's projected for points. Which typically, I mean, it's a game time decision. Like McCaffrey was projected for points until 20 minutes before kickoff on opening weekend. So take that however you want to. I am betting on Nico playing.
Okay.
So next up, we got the Dolphins versus the Rams, and this is played at SoFi Stadium. +2.5, over under is 49. +114 if you're betting on the Dolphins, -135 if you're betting on the Rams, and that +2.5 was for the Dolphins.
And I think this is gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. I think is the hardest game for me to pick. This is a true 50-50 game here for me.
This would be such a good game to watch to go see.
Should be good, and this is Monday night.
Somebody
right?
had asked me, like, "Are you gonna
in
watch the
LA.
game?" And I was like, "I wasn't thinking about it." But
they're in LA.
this was supposed to be the first year I went to go watch a game.
It's on a holiday.
And it's yeah, but it's not a holiday for me. So maybe next year. Actually, probably 2027 is probably when I'll have a little bit more fuck you money to do something like that. But,
It's a fun time. That's a really good stadium. SoFi Stadium is a really fun place to hang out, for sure. Like even if you were just going to do standing room only, because the way that it's set up, like it's like a ring of like mall and bars all around the stadium, and there's places for you to walk up and just like be standing at a rail and watching the game. Like you don't have to step, but like 25 feet from where you're ordering your drink to watch the game.
I hear the standing seats are well worth it.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's just you might as well just do that.
I told Roxana when we went there, I was like, I would have been happy with standing room only. We could have hung out here at the bar and just like come over to check out the game.
I hear that those are secretly the best seats, standing.
And also their parking situation, like the way that they get people in and out of the stadium is super impressive.
Really?
Yeah, like we drove a couple of miles further down the road, and you park at a at a bus depot. So it's huge and open, and then you take one of the bus shuttles, and they're running all day long from like on game day. I think they told us they're running from like 7 a.m. until midnight, and the game was over at 4 p.m. And it takes you right to the stadium.
My question would be,
and so the parking in there was the cost, right? It was like $5 per person. Like I want to say it was like $3 for the car to sit there all day, as opposed to 45 or 60 or 80,
100,
like
yeah,
100 that you pay for parking
crazy
now. Yeah, exactly. It was like $3 for the car to sit there, and then it was like $5 per person to get the ticket on the bus to and from the stadium.
Nice.
So if it's open till midnight, do like the bars stay open after
Yes,
the game?
they do.
Wow, that is neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's a
cool.
cool deal.
They're set up for people to spend money all day there. It's very smart.
Yeah, honestly, I'd love for the three of us to get some standing seats sometime. And
We
just
should.
go.
Yeah, we
go
should
see
do
a
that.
game. That doesn't even matter who's playing. Just go check it out. That'd be fun.
Let's do opening weekend next year. Let's like
That might be expensive though. I was thinking like on the cheap.
okay. Let's go to the first cheapest game next year.
Now you're talking, brother. Now you're speaking my language.
We'll come back to you guys about that when the schedule comes out.
All righty. So
So who you taking?
I'm taking Rams, of course.
I'm going to take the Rams. I'm gonna.
And like I said, this is a
stay
true
home team.
50-50. So my decision point is you guys are taking the Rams. I want a lone wolf. Give me
Take the Dolphins.
Miami.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so I took a lone wolf on the Cardinals, and you're taking a lone wolf on the
Dolphins are due.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
The Dolphins are due for a victory.
Not this Monday though. Next up, we got for our Thursday night game the Washington Commanders versus the Eagles. +3 on the Commanders. Over under is 49. +142 if you're betting on the money line on the Commanders. Ooh, and it just went away.
A real love-hate situation here for me, because you guys know how I love to pick a team to lose twice before we come back.
Right.
But I have to pick the Eagles to do it. And I hate that.
Interesting.
Commanders.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Commanders here. This is a really tough one. This is another 50-50. I don't know. And honestly, I want the Commanders to win more. And so I'm just going to take the Commanders here. But, not very scientific, but it's hard to pick a Thursday game.
Well, but the Eagles just haven't been playing that well. And, they're playing well enough to beat the Cowboys because the Cowboys are on a slump right now. But,
I think the Eagles are playing good football. I think they're playing better.
The last week or so, the last week to 2 weeks, this feels like they've
And
been playing
Jalen
good
Hurts
football.
especially.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
Jalen Hurts has been
Especially
lights out.
fantasy-wise.
Yeah, like he's not getting talked about enough, I don't think.
Yeah.
People, and I think the Eagles will win. I think the Eagles will win this game going away. Actually, I'm sorry. Still don't believe in the Commanders.
Yeah, no, and obviously you're picking them to lose twice in a row.
I just don't believe in them. Twice. I'm picking them to lose twice to Pennsylvania in 1 week. Are they in Pennsylvania for both games, or is the other one in Washington?
Let me look at
Pittsburgh.
They're
at home. They're in Washington.
Washington, yeah, that makes sense. That's why we're underdogs.
Yeah.
All right,
I
and
don't
you're
think that's
going-
right.
And you're going Commanders or Eagles? I don't think you really solidified that.
Commanders.
You went Commanders, yeah.
Yeah.
So I get the lone wolf on the Eagles. on
Yes,
Thursday
you
night?
do.
Thursday night.
There's
game.
your lone wolf for the week.
Nice. And so before we go, having a horrible season, as far as picks are concerned, game picks. Redraft has been a calamity of of fantasy football injustice. Like all of the things, like from opening night, being at school when Christian McCaffrey was announced to be out for Monday Night Football, and then losing that match by 2 points less than what I would have scored if I had gotten the information and picked up Jordan Mason and played him. Because I would have obviously would have just put Jordan Mason. I actually already had him on my roster. He was on my bench. I had picked him up.
Oh,
yeah, and so all I had to do was make the swap and put Mason in, and I would have won by 2. And it's just been like all of that, right? But my half PPR dynasty team is now 9-0.
I remember you talking about him last week.
And that team has Nico Collins, Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, and we have just gotten through it week after week after week, plugged in exactly the right guy or whatever, and scored enough points. And fantasy football is crazy that way. And so I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is at 9-0, I am now 2 weeks away from having run the table on everybody. It's a 12-team league, so being 11-0, I would be, literally have beaten everybody, right?
Yeah.
At what point do I start gloating?
You wait till you get that trophy, brother.
Do
you not go this early?
Because here's my thing, is like I understand the not wanting to tempt fate part of it, but it's like we're talking about like do I really have the power to negatively affect fantasy football for that many other people if I start talking shit to my league mates?
No, it's just how much it hurts you when shit turns around. You know what I mean? Because if you start talking that crap and then somebody gets hurt or something happens and everything turns around, the miracle happens and you're out first week of the playoffs. You know what I mean? Second week because you'll have the bye.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, man, when that happens, it hurts so much more. Just to give an example, my team league last year, I made it to the Final Four. And I had all the fab, and I had all the players, and I'm just dancing and just gloating at work every day because, how could you guys possibly beat me? Oh, that's how.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That miracle
week
happens.
You see this lineup would have lost to these two players. That happen. I see those posts every single week, and they're always hilarious. So you can always lose, and so that's kind of my thing is what if my team goes 14-0 and then we lose in the divisional round and I didn't?
You missed that opportunity to talk shit.
Yeah, and I didn't do any talk. Right?
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was a fair point.
That is fair.
Okay, because I'm starting to line stuff up. I'm starting to get some memes lined up for the shit talking. I want to make sure that I'm not not super crazy. But yeah. Anyway,
fun stuff.
Football games have started. Good luck,
everybody. Enjoy your football.
Thanks for being with us. Appreciate you.
And we'll see you next